Yo, what's going on everybody, this is Sculpting Animations here, and today I will be doing a different type of video. Today I will be comparing the new Marvel Legends Retro Sandman figure to the Marvel Select Sandman figure. So, over the years we've gotten a couple of Sandman figures, but these two seem to be the most defined in people's collections. Yes, there was the Build-A-Figure, but that one is very hard to find for most people, especially me, and currently now it's going for hundreds of plus dollars on the aftermarket. And the price doesn't seem to be dwindling much, even with the release of this new figure. So I decided, since I do own both these figures, I don't own the Build-A-Figure. If I did, I would do a comparison with that one too. And I don't own any of the Toy Biz ones. But I figured I would do a comparison between these two figures and figure out which one is the definitive Sandman and which one I like more. So first, we're going to start off with each of these guys' accessories to figure out who comes with more. Okay, so Sandman's, the Marvel Legends Sandman's accessories are not too bad at all. He comes with a set of a punching hand with spikes and like the sand effect for his one hand. And then he comes with the classic spiky ball hand and the sand effect for his other hand, as well as he comes with with a pair of fists, and then this interchangeable head, which you can put like a figure's fist through to give the effect that he's being punched. Now, while this effect by itself isn't too bad, I do have a couple complaints with these heads. So if you would notice, on the normal head for Sandman, he is very angry, he starts teeth gritting. But on the head where half his face is melting, he seems pretty neutral. I would really wish that they would just have switched the expressions on these heads, because it would not make much sense for this head to be very neutral and his normal head to be very angry. As well as I kind of just think the whole fist thing's kind of a pointless gimmick for me. It's cool for some photos and stuff, but you can't really do much with it. And I still might sand this whole fist thing down and just, I already started it kind of actually. So I don't know if I'll keep it like this or not. Just try and make it look like half his face is melted off. We'll see. Sorry I'm stuttering, it's been a long day. So let's get into the Select Sandman, which, spoiler, it's way better. Okay, so it's kind of a night and day difference between these two figures for me. So first we'll just start with the kind of simple accessories for Sandman, which are his swappable hands. So he comes with a trigger hand, although he doesn't come with a gun, so for me, this is probably the most pointless hand inclusion, but it's still here, which is still very nice. He comes with these gripping, well, actually, they're not really gripping hands, they're just kind of a evil hand. Same with this one, it's kind of like a pointing-ish hand, sort of. And he comes with this hand, which is also like an evil splayed-out hand. Also, all these hands are very nicely detailed. They all have the fingernails and like the ridges and the fingers and veins all sculpted in, which is very nice. And I also forgot to mention, actually, he has two pairs of fists, or one pair of fists. So let's move these out of the way and get to his other hand accessories. So we have the spiky ball accessory, which actually is pretty spiky, and I've never been able to get this on his hand. It just doesn't fit. I'm sure if I heated it up and put it on, then it would work, but for me, it's just never worked. And it's very hard to put on, too, because you have to like grab it like this, and then it just stabs you. So, not a big fan of this one. If it was easier to get on or less pokey, then I would be a fan. It's got this spiky mallet, which I have been able to put on him, but it also is kind of spiky. So, yeah. Now, these two are very nice accessories. However, I do wish the fist was for the other hand. That way he could have one grabbing hand and one fisted hand. But they're both for the same hand, unfortunately. But they're both very nice. All these are sculpted very well. Oh man, I'm sorry guys. I'm not even gonna cut that out because I'm lazy. So he has the fist hand with kind of a black or gray wash in them. They also have white washes in them too. I think they all look very nice. They did a very excellent job sculpting these. Then finally, he comes with a base, which is nice. You can plug them into this. I don't have too much problems with this figure standing, but if you ever find yourself having troubles with it, it comes with a very handy stand. And then, probably my favorite accessory for this guy, the sand whirl storm thing, which is very cool. So basically how this figure works, you can detach him at the mid-waist. He comes with this pair of pants, or you can detach him, which is what most people do, and what I did when I would pose this figure. I put him on this sand base, and it looks really cool. I really wish we got a feature like this for like Sandman and Hydro Man for these figures. I wish they made it so this, that body mold can detach at the waist, since they both use the same one. It's unfortunate. Maybe I'll try and figure something out one day, but this is a really cool accessory, guys. And personally, I really like it. So yeah. Now let's get into the figures themselves. Okay, so let's talk about the sculpt and articulation of this Sandman figure. So this figure is actually pretty decent. It uses the Luke Cage / Hydro Man body mold, which I think is a perfect body mold for a powered down Sandman. I really like this body for him, and I think it works good. So the sculpting here, it's pretty standard for Marvel Legends, not really anything new. You're going on, he's got wrinkles, and his shirt, got the sleeves sculpted, which is nice. This is something to note though, the skin clash between his fists and his wrists is noticeable because they did have to paint over the green of his wrists. You can kind of see like green fading in. The pants are fine. They're sculpted well. These are probably reused from a couple different figures, but I wouldn't be able to tell you. He also has this barcode sculpted in. I did see Aravera take some nail polish remover, I believe, and he was able to clean that up. Also, I just noticed this now, but it is very noticeable. There's a color change in between these. And also, I think mine has like some yellow paint on it. I don't know where that's from or if he came with that. He also has boots on, which are fine, but again, these are very hard to make them stand in. Marvel Legends really needs to sort out like their whole shoe and boot problem for figures, because it's very hard to get him to stand, especially when he's powered up and stuff. It's pretty annoying. The articulation is definitely something this figure excels at over the Select though. I will say that. So his head moves this far up and this far down. His arms move that far out, and they can go 360. Bicep swivel, double jointed elbow, which is pinless, which is nice. He's got his wrists, they move up and down, although something I will note, his sand-powered wrists do not move at all. They just swivel. Or will spin around, really, not swivel. Ab crunch, forward and back, kicks out that far, boost swivel. Doesn't kick back at all, really. Double jointed knees, no pinless joints here, kind of unfortunate. And then ankles move that far up, that far down, not very good. And then ankle pivot. So let's get into Marvel Select. Okay, so Select definitely wins in terms of detail here. The shirt, the ridges in the shirt are sculpted on, very nice. The musculature is good. My big complaint with this figure though, a big complaint, is he's very hunchbacked. He's always arching forward. You can't really get him in a straight backed pose. Also, the gappage between his like, where he disconnects is very noticeable as well. Also, he can't put his arms in either. Again, very noticeable. Kind of comes with the factor of him being very nicely sculpted though. His face looks fine. Pants are nothing to really write home about. The boots are painted nicely. So, in terms of sculpt, this guy wins, but in terms of articulation, it's kind of a different story. So head doesn't like move around really at all. Though it can swivel, of course. He can't move his arms out like at all, and he can't put them in at all really either. They do swivel around, it's a bit of a, and then he's got bicep swivel. Single jointed elbow, which aren't pinless, but of course this figure's from a while ago, so I didn't really expect them to be. He does have a little swivel here, which is normally where his effects pieces would clip on, and he does have hinges, I believe, on all of his hands, his normal hands. Ab crunch, it's not really there, can't really crunch back, can swivel, of course. He can kick out to the side that far because he has these kind of ugly T hinges, I believe they're called. He does have a thigh swivel, though it's very hard to use. He definitely beats the Marvel Legends in terms of knee articulation, though. That's pretty good. And the feet just don't move at all. And there's no ankle pivot. So, yeah, where he does excel in terms of sculpt, he lacks for definitely in terms of posture and articulation. It's kind of hard to get him in a natural pose when he's not powered up. So yeah, now let's get into the final comparison and how I feel about them. Okay, so for the final part of this video, I'm just going to talk about my thoughts on each figure and kind of which one I would prefer more and which one's staying in my collection. So, in terms of Marvel Legends, his benefits are good articulation, and that's kind of where he excels. He also matches in much better with my other Marvel Legends figures. In terms of the Select, he comes with much better accessories, and he is very nicely sculpted. So, they're kind of even for me in terms of this, and while I did have the Select for a long time, I got this as a birthday gift, and I very much appreciate it. The one that's sticking in my collection will be the Legends, actually, so that might be surprising because I haven't been praising the Legends version as much, but for me, it's more of a thing of consistency with my collection rather than the better figures. So if I were to compare this figure to, let's say, Classic Electro, I think he fits in much better with the Marvel Legends Electro than if the Select would to fit in. For my Sinister 6 display, like it was very noticeable. This guy, he looked very highly detailed, while the others were like very classic comic booky. And for me, that's just something I wasn't a huge fan of. I also like to animate a lot, and that Sandman, the Select Sandman, it was kind of a pain in the butt to animate. He didn't stand very well, and his articulation was very lackluster. So the Marvel Legends one, though, isn't a miracle to animate with either. He does have ratchet joints in his shoulders, which it's very hard to make it animate smoothly. So yeah, for me, I will be sticking with the Legends one. It just is more thematically consistent with my shelf. So that does mean I am selling this guy on my Mercari page. If you're interested, I will probably try and remember to link it in the description if you want to buy it. I am selling him for a little bit more expensive than normal, because he is a Select, of course. So, if you're interested, check that out. And thank you guys for watching. Let me know what your thoughts are and who's your superior figure. Which one will you be buying if you don't have a Sandman? And hopefully maybe this review influenced your opinion. Thanks for watching, guys, and see you later. Peace.